Welcome to the Explainer. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by workplace safety protocols, trust me, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to transform safety management from absolute chaos to crystal clarity. We're unpacking the core concepts from a fantastic, highly practical source called Building Safety Systems That Work. The insights we're exploring today, they're going to fundamentally change how you approach your safety infrastructure. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to picture something in your mind for just a second. Imagine you have this brand new, highly capable, fully loaded vehicle. Just a beautiful machine. Now imagine trying to drive that incredible car, but there is absolutely no road in front of you. You're just out there in the rough, untamed wilderness, mashing the gas pedal over rocks and plunging through trenches. What exactly do you think is going to happen?
Right? It crashes. It gets totally lost. It burns through precious fuel while getting absolutely nowhere. And this brilliantly illustrates a hard truth from our source material. This is precisely what happens to safety officers when they're forced to operate without a formal safety management system. They are that capable car, and they're essentially being asked to drive without a road. All that incredible energy and potential, it just results in wasted effort. You burn through operational budgets, lose employee trust, stall out on compliance, and inevitably you cause collisions.
Section 1, the chaos of reacting, the life of an unsupported safety officer.
So when there's no system, when there's no road, these safety professionals are basically forced to drive in endless circles. Imagine this. One day, a safety officer is forced to give some random toolbox talk about something as trivial as pencils. Why? Just to check a compliance box, because there's no actual data-driven strategy telling them what training is really needed. Then, the next day, they're running around the factory floor chasing down missing personal protective equipment, acting way more like a hall monitor than a strategic partner. And the absolute worst, most frustrating part of all this, next week they are investigating the exact same accident that happened a month ago. No way, right? But it's true, because without a system to track root causes and implement actual lasting controls, you're just putting band-aids on recurring fractures. These folks are constantly wandering, buried in meaningless paperwork, and ultimately their vital message gets completely lost in the noise.
Here's the thing. When you're operating without a system, you aren't leading safety, you're just reacting to it. And this constant wandering and chaos, it frames the entire safety department in a really negative light. Management looks at this purely reactive state, and they just see safety strictly as a massive, frustrating cost. A financial black hole that slows down production. But when you flip the script to leading safety by actually establishing a system, everything shifts. You provide clear direction, the driving becomes smooth. Suddenly, top management views safety not as a financial drain, but as a tangible, positive result that protects assets and ensures uninterrupted operations. It's a complete paradigm shift in organizational dynamics. You literally change the safety professional from a nagging cost center into an absolutely indispensable operational leader.
Moving on to Section 2, Paving the System, Building the Road to Safety. The source text gives us just a brilliant way to frame this whole paradigm shift. It says, a safety management system is exactly that, a road. I love that. In this specific framework, we're not just telling the car to drive better or to try harder or to go faster. Demanding better driving in the wilderness just doesn't work. We have to actually pave the asphalt so the vehicle knows exactly where to go. The system provides that vital physical infrastructure and direction that keeps everyone on track and moving forward together without spinning their wheels. Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly these abstract corporate concepts map directly to physical infrastructure we use every single day. Think about it. The lanes of your road, those act as your company's policies. Policies create those non-negotiable boundaries. They keep everyone moving in the proper direction without drifting into each other's spaces or crossing into oncoming traffic. Then you have the road signs. In a safety system, these are your procedures. Procedures provide that turn-by-turn navigation, telling everyone exactly what to expect, what tools to use, and how to handle specific high-risk situations coming up so there are zero surprises. Finally, the traffic lights. These are your audits. Just like a busy intersection needs a red light to prevent absolute chaos, your organization needs audits. They're the necessary, scheduled hard stops that check the flow of work, evaluate compliance, and ensure everything is functioning safely before anyone proceeds. It's just an absolutely brilliant analogy because it makes building a safety system incredibly intuitive. And when you take the time to actually build this road, the transformation across the organization is immediate and it is powerful. Step 1, the car, meaning your safety team and all your frontline workers finally knows exactly where to go. There's no more ambiguity. Step 2, the journey becomes remarkably smooth. No more metaphorical crashes, no more confusion on the factory floor about what the rules are or who's responsible for what. And step 3, which is absolutely massive for career growth and organizational buy-in, the safety officer knows exactly how to prove their immense value to top management. They aren't just out there saying, hey, we were safe today. They're showing concrete data. They're demonstrating lowered incident rates, reduced insurance premiums, and lower employee turnover because people actually feel safe coming to work. They transform from a reactive firefighter into a critical, data-driven navigator for the whole business. So instead of that exhausting daily chaos we talked about earlier, you get highly concrete, measurable results. You get clear policies that people actually understand and can follow without needing a law degree. You get systematically tracked hazards. This means you finally stop investigating the same silly accidents on a continuous loop because you've actually fixed the root cause. You get well-trained workers who feel totally confident in their environments. And perhaps the most elusive and valuable prize of the whole shebang, you get leadership that actually supports you. Now, why is that usually so elusive? Well, because leadership speaks the language of return on investment. When you're just reacting, they only see the investment. But a paved system finally translates safety into their language, showing them the direct return through operational efficiency and robust bottom-line protection. Which brings us to Section 3. Who needs this blueprint? The 3 key stakeholders. See, this structural blueprint isn't just for one single person in the organization. The source material outlines that a true system addresses 3 distinct groups, each dealing with major, often competing pain points. First up, you have your safety managers. What do they desperately want? Well, they're completely exhausted from the constant daily firefighting, and they just want some systemic relief. They need a framework that manages the safety floor for them. Then you have top management. They're typically a bit disconnected from the floor, and looking at the financial realities, they want fewer incidents because incidents cause downtime, and for sure, they want lower overall operational costs. And finally, the safety officers with boots on the ground. They are the ones right in the trenches, actively wanting clear direction, professional respect from the production teams, and tangible results for their hard work. Historically, these 3 groups kind of clash. Production wants speed, safety wants caution, management wants low costs. But building this road, implementing this exact system, finally aligns all 3 of those traditionally competing interests into one unified, highly successful goal. Let's wrap things up with Section 4, Getting Everyone Home Safe, your blueprint to success. So, the crucial point is simply this: stop wandering, start building. If you are a professional responsible for keeping people safe in your organization, you simply cannot afford to just drive blindly through the wilderness anymore. You need to shift your energy completely away from reacting to yesterday's emergencies. Instead, you've got to channel all of that passion, all of that expertise into constructing the solid, unshakable infrastructure for tomorrow's safety. And you know what's genuinely surprising about the blueprint we've been unpacking from building safety systems that work? It's the sheer accessibility of it all. For about $13, literally the cost of a couple of coffees, the source text provides the exact step-by-step plans to lay down the pavement. It outlines exactly how to stop the chaos and finally build a safety system that functions the way you, your team, and your executive board actually need it to. Which brings us to our final and definitely most important thought for today. The overarching goal of all this effort, all these policies, all the procedures and audits, it all comes down to one profoundly important question. Are you ready to get everyone home safe? Think about your own organization tomorrow morning. When your people clock in and start their shifts, are they stepping onto a clearly paved road, or are you still asking them to drive through the wilderness? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And hey,